Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna everyone, and we are back with the Raja Vidya, the King of Knowledge, by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Jai. Page number 105. If we leave this material body in Krishna consciousness, we will no longer have to return to the material world. The point is to avoid this material existence altogether. It is not a question of improving our condition in the material world. In prison, a man may want to improve his condition to become a first-class prisoner, and the government may give him A status. But no sane man will become satisfied by becoming an A-class prisoner. He should desire to get out of the prison altogether. In the material world, some of us are A-class, B-class, or C-class prisoners, but in any case, we are all prisoners. Real knowledge does not consist in simply getting an MA or PhD, but in understanding these basic problems of existence. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjitah Jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddha. Quote, one is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every act is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker whose fruitive action is burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Bhagavad Gita 4.19. The word panditam means learned, and Buddha means well-versed. In the 10th chapter, we also find the word Buddha in the verse Buddha Bhava Buddha Bhava Samanvitah. Okay. Bhagavad Gita 10.8. According to Bhagavad Gita, one may not be a learned man just because he has received a lot of education from a university. According to Bhagavad Gita, right? I mean, people can say also, right? We can confirm that, I'm saying. We can confirm that just because somebody has a university degree doesn't mean he's a learned man. Bhagavad Gita says that he is a learned man who can see everything on an equal level. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shuni chaiva shvapakecha panditah samadarsanah. Quote, the humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater, outcast. Unquote, Bhagavad Gita 5.18. In India, according to Vedic civilization, a brahmana who is learned is considered to be the topmost man in human society. The pandita, who is learned and gentle, sees such a brahmana on the same level with a dog, or an outcast who eats dogs. In other words, he sees no distinctions between the highest and the lowest. Is this to say that being a learned brahmana is no better than being a dog? No, that is not so. But the pandita sees them as the same because he does not see the skin, but the spirit. Has such an important point these days, right? How not to see the skin, to see the spirit of people. So that's actually qualification of pandita. Pandita is one who sees the spirit, not the skin. One who has learned the art of seeing the same spirit soul within every living being is considered to be a pandita, for in actuality, every living being is a spiritual spark, part and parcel of the complete spirit whole. The spiritual spark is the same in all, but it is covered by different dresses. An honored man may come in a very shabby dress, but this does not mean that he should be dishonored, right? Dishonored. doesn't mean. In Bhagavad Gita, these material bodies are likened unto dresses, which are worn by the spirit soul. I'm really looking forward to making illustrations for all these analogies. I remember when I was small, like 10 years old, there was one like newspaper or magazine devotees made, and I saw that like there's this like a person coming and like changing a dress, and the dress looks like a body, like basically like how the soul is choosing dresses which are actually like material bodies. It's just external dresses which we change. Vasamsi jirnaniya thavinai. Oh, okay. Today I can't edit the audio, so you will have to hear the mistakes. I'm sorry. Vasamsi jirnaniya thavihaya navani grinati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Quote, as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, similarly the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Bhagavad Gita 2.22. Whenever we see any living being, any living entity, we should think, here is a spirit soul. Anyone who can understand such a spiritual vision of life is Pandita. Chanakya Pandit gives the standard for education or the qualification for a Pandita in this way. Quote, the learned man sees all women, with the exception of his wife, as his mother. He sees all material possessions as garbage in the street, and he looks on the sufferings of others as he would look on them in himself. Unquote. Lord Buddha taught that we should not even hurt animals by word or deed. This is the qualification for a Pandita, and this should be the standard of life. Haribol! Imagine the standard of life if a man sees all women, with the exception of his own wife, as mothers. He sees all material possessions as garbage in the street, meaning like he's not after material possessions or somebody else's material possessions, and he looks on the sufferings of others as he would look on them in himself, right? And this is a beautiful standard of life. Hare Krishna. May we all come to this standard. It is therefore to be, and we will, by taking up the process of Krishna consciousness and Bhakti Yoga, you can see such standard of life actually maintained. Believe me, I've seen. So this is not like some kind of utopia. No. Haribol. Okay. It is therefore to be understood that one is to be considered educated in accordance with his vision of life and his activity in accordance with that vision, not by his academic degrees. Let's read that again. It is therefore to be understood that one is to be considered educated in accordance with his vision of life and his activity in accordance with that vision, not by academic degrees. This is the understanding of the word Pandita from Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, the word Buddha specifically refers to one who is well versed in the study of scripture. The results of such realization and scriptural learning are thus described in Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Quote, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise, who know this perfectly, engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Unquote. Bhagavad Gita 10.8. The well-versed person or Buddha is one who has understood that Krishna is the origin of all emanations. Whatever we happen to see is but an emanation of Krishna. For millions and millions of years, sunshine has been emanating from the sun, and yet the sun is as it is. Similarly, all material and spiritual energies are coming from Krishna. As a result of knowing this, one becomes a devotee of Krishna. Thus, one who knows that he must work in Krishna consciousness, who no longer desires to enjoy this material world, is actually learned. Everyone is working in the material world due to lust, kama. But the wise man is free from the dictations of this lust, kama sankalpa varjitah. How is this possible? Gyanagni dagdha karmanam. The fire of knowledge burns up all reactions of sinful activities. It is the most potent of purifiers. Our lives have meaning and direction only insofar as we strive to attain this transcendental knowledge of Krishna consciousness, Raja Vidya, which is the king of all knowledge. Haribol! Wow, we have completed this incredible epic book called The King of Knowledge, Raja Vidya, the King of Knowledge. So thank you so much for being with us, and we're going to start the next book tomorrow, and it will be Shri Ishopanishad. It's one of the primary Upanishads, the primary, you can say. I mean, so many wonderful Upanishads are there, so we're going to read Shri Ishopanishad tomorrow. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and we shall see you tomorrow. How many times did I say tomorrow? Yes, so the link to this book is in the description. Please check it out, share it with your friends, and yes, let's strive for that perfect knowledge and actual education. In the sense that, education is nice, but it has to be directed to the Lord in order to actually give us eternal benefit. Yes, Haribo!